True.
What are your thoughts?
True. I agree with you. Seriously.
Yeah.
When, like, it's really difficult if you look at our lives. For example, if I'm doing, for example, a 9 to 5 job and I'm a skilled professional, I will wake up in the morning, go to office, come home like 6:30, 7 p.m., and I'll be so tired. And I've been doing this, let's say, for 8 years. So I've been living a life of sameness. It's a secure life. I get my paycheck.
Okay.
But isn't it same? Like I follow the same drill every day. Like I've been doing it, let's say.
Okay. Okay.
And I never got the time to switch off from
Okay.
this unless I take a paid leave of a week and go back home and meet my parents and my family. And then come back and return to the same thing again. So even that 1 week holiday is like small period of time, isn't it? Now, at the moment when everything has shut down all of a sudden, and I've been asked to work from home, and I am at home now, right? And I don't have that drill, so my habit has disruption. It's not the same.
Okay.
What I feel is that this is my time now, as a skilled professional, to think differently, because I'm not in the rat race anymore. I'm in a different race where the old rules don't apply. So I have to look for what the new rules are, how I can adjust to them, and when I'm making this adjustment, how I can bring my better self out. The things that I wasn't looking at before because I was too busy. Because there were too many things in the office I needed to take care of.
Yeah.
This is what's happening now to large number of people in the entire world. Not just here, everywhere.
Yeah.
Because that switch off thing is bringing things. Oh, it's the flip. It's the flip, right? The life has transformed suddenly. And nobody was expecting that everything will shut down. The restaurants will shut down. There will be no flights. There will be no travel. And we'll all be boxed in our houses. So we go inward and we discover what we always wanted to do and do it. It's the safe testing time.
True. What you said is, you said something very interesting. Can I add something?
Yes.
You said something about how people go to office, live the same drill for a long period of time, keep doing the same thing over and over again. Right? Who is responsible for that? Who is responsible for them going through the same drill over and over for so many years?
They themselves, no, Samir?
They themselves, right?
Yeah, they choose to do it.
They choose not to grow out of it into something else. And a lot of time what happens is because they have only looked for a job that pays the bills, not a job that allows them to grow into something else.
Yeah. Exactly.
So they have not created something that they can go and aspire towards and realize that what they have today is something, a step in that direction. The ones who take risks, the ones who quit their jobs and move on to future jobs or other jobs are the ones who constantly tell themselves that this is just one step in the place that I want to get to. So anyone who's become a CEO, anyone who's gone up the ladder, the corporate ladder or whatever,
yes,
are the ones who have been hungry for that growth. And there is also a misconception, I will say, that if you have to be really successful, if you have to really use your strengths, you have to be independent, you have to be an entrepreneur, you have to have your own job. That's not true. You can even be in a 9 to 5 job and still use your strengths to the best and still feel happy and fulfilled. Now, to give you an example, let's say this is a cup and this is a tea that you have ordered and you pay, let's say, $5 for this or $3, whatever. Let's say $5, and you get this tea. That's it. You pay, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But what if with this cup of tea, they also gave you a burger? Suddenly, exceeding your expectations, right? Or a cookie or something else. If you go to a five-star hotel and you order for a cup of tea, they give you
The
two
cookies.
cookies.
Mm.
Right? So they are exceeding your expectations of what you have ordered for. And when we get into a job, what is very important is we have to ask ourselves if we need to get promoted, if we need to grow, we have to exceed expectations, meaning we have to go beyond our job description.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks about how to get beyond their job description. They just meet expectations. They just meet the job
Deadline.
description. Some people don't even meet the job description in the first place.
Mm.
And those people are the liabilities for the organization because they hired them for a particular thing and they're not even getting everything that they paid for also. But the ones who grow are the ones who actually go beyond the job description and do even more extra things.
Yeah.
So today, during these times, it's a good point for people to reflect and ask themselves, what can I do more than what is expected out of me within my role?
Mm.
If every person were to sit and ask themselves, okay, if I were to skill up, if I were to take a certification online, or if I were to do something else, or if I were to offer my help to the organization, or if I were to help support my team members grow, that is going beyond the job description. And if every
Yeah.
person asks themselves, what can I do to go beyond my job description? That would be a great question to start off as well, I think, during this period.
Mm. True. It is. I picked one word when you were talking. Guess
Mhm.
which one was it?
Only one word.
Conversation.
Conversations, yes. It's something that you're passionate about as well. You were telling me that
Yeah. So when I met Samir for the first time, he
yeah,
introduced himself as a conversationalist. And I was
yes.
like, what? So he told me that he's a conversationalist and he's hosting Awesome Walkers. And I was like, okay. So he said, join us this Thursday. We have one great session and this person is coming. So I hope you will enjoy it. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, guy. But I did make out time and I went and I attended Awesome Walkers one episode and I discovered what being a conversationalist really is for Samir. And now, at this moment, he's going to tell us about this.
Being a conversationalist is about not about talking really. It's about the whole experience of everything that we are doing at this point of time, actually, right? It's about exploring the mind. It's about listening. It's about sharing. It's about being present. It's about understanding and realizing how we can have great conversations. It's about utilizing that tool itself of conversation because everything that happens in our life, everything happens in the space of a conversation.
Hmm.
Everything. If you
So
look
you
at
mean
everything,
life is conversation?
everything that happens around us is a result of conversations. Because if it was residing in our thoughts and if it was not communicated, if there is no some, if there are no people to listen to and if there are no people to talk to, life wouldn't move the way it is moving today.
Hmm.
And the fact is, if there is any disruption or if there is any disharmony that people feel, it's because of the quality of the conversation. So the quality of a conversation will define the quality of our life.
Wow, interesting.
And how we surround ourselves with the right kind of conversation will determine
Hmm.
the quality of the life that we will live. So if you're surrounded by negative people, our life will be negative. We will feel down, we will feel depressed, we will feel all the negative things and we'll spread negativity.
Hmm.
But if we are positive and if we are surrounded by positive people, the only thing that can spread through us, with us, and amongst us will be positivity. So
Okay.
if anyone is complaining about things that are not going right, whether it is at home, whether it is within organizations, whether it is within teams, whether it is between friends, it's only because of the people that they're surrounded with and the quality of the conversation.
Hmm. So that's where the change
Only-
is needed.
Absolutely. And more importantly, in conversations, the most important element of a conversation What do you think it is?
I'm thinking. You have to answer it.
Take a guess.
The most important thing in a conversation is the story,
The
the
most important
message.
the most important element in a conversation that makes it a great conversation, what do you think it is?
Knowledge sharing, truth.
I'm not saying it is wrong. I'm just saying it is not my answer.
I know. I know. I'm just not able to get your answer. So you have to tell me.
Good questions. Quality questions. The quality of our questions will determine the quality of a conversation. The quality of a conversation will determine the quality of our life.
Hmm.
And everything starts with the right questions. And before the questions, also, what is important is to have the right kind of intent.
It all connects. It
The need
connects even to the larger purpose.
everything, right? So
Yeah.
when you have the right intent, and always when it comes to awesome workers, my intent is always one is to learn from other people's life and journeys. The second one is to add value to the people who are sitting in the room. And coming from those two perspectives, when my questions emerge, what will happen is value will be given. There is
Hmm.
no agenda that I have apart from these two, to learn from somebody and then to impart that learning to somebody else.
Okay.
And when we come from that space where we ask questions to genuinely learn, today, most people, if they are negative, the questions come from a space to prove somebody wrong. And if your question comes from a space to prove somebody wrong, the quality of your questions is different. If you
Yes.
question, when you ask somebody a question where you're questioning that person, the energy is different. When you're asking a question to learn, the energy is different. And therefore, the answer will be different. Therefore, the quality of the answer also will be different. Therefore, what will be created in that space will be different. It will be more empowering. And these are things that I wasn't aware of, but I just loved conversations. I just loved having conversations. I used to have conversation for the longest period of time in my life. And I was thinking, this is just something that we can all do. What is so great about it? But when people kept telling me again and again, Simi, the way you ask questions, the way that you engage people is very interesting. Realizing that this is the strength that I have. All right. Now let me understand and explore what am I doing right. Because if I can break it down and understand it, I can share it. Just like how I'm doing right now, right? It may seem as obvious, but when I ask, it becomes difficult to answer sometimes because even the obvious is something that lies in our blind spot. We might not be aware of it. Just like the magic trick, right? When you
Yeah.
see a magic, it's like, wow. And then, like this. When you get to know how the
Yeah.
trick is done, it's like, oh, it's so simple. And then you will not see the trick, you will see only the way it is done. The beauty of people knowing how to have effective conversations, which is having the right intent and being curious and being positive, is we'll be surrounded by positivity in our society then, if everyone came from that space. In homes, when people are sitting right now, they could be having negative conversations. There's a lot of negative forwards that come across about how staying with your husband or wife is so miserable, how children are so difficult, and all that stuff. There's so much of negative vibe that the community, even if it is in a joking manner, tries to put out, but it is not helping anyone. It really is not helping anyone. For the sake of humor, yes, but that's not inspiring, right? That's not making anything more positive, I feel. So our conversations, you tell me, you have been working with teams, you said, right?
Yes.
We have another guest. Let's say hello. Let's say hello.
He's very naughty.
Naughty is good.
Yeah. Okay, no, you're not. You're a good boy. He has been my work companion ever since he came.
Okay, let me say hello to him.
Come. Say hello.
Oh, wow. Nice hairstyle.
No.
I am super cool. Good to see you. What's his name?
His name is Muhammad Bura. Yes.
Yeah?
Mohammed Burak. Nice to meet you.
Papa?
So
You've been working,
yes.
you said. How have you been impacting teams? And I'm sure conversation is a huge part of what you do when you were working with teams, right?
True. Yeah. A major act that makes a difference among teams is building trust and inter-team trust. So
How do
every
you do?
person should know the other very well. Should have a feeling of comradeship. The person should be friends. Everybody should be friends. They should know the strengths. They should know the weaknesses so that they're able to complement. And when they start complementing in a team, the team grows. You learn from each other. Even you and I are learning from each other at the moment, isn't it?
True.
So the greater part in team management is to make the team grow. And how does the team grow? They coordinate, they learn from each other, they tell each other the right stories, make the correct conversations, the most impactful conversations during their day-to-day lives. And when we allow those conversations to happen more frequently, the teams
Yeah.
are bonded well and they grow together. So this is what I've been using with my team. Like they are
Okay.
friends, they are working together, they're celebrating every second day, something that you don't conventionally see in offices, but that's what makes a difference. They're happy. They know they're
Okay.
here for fun, so they're productive. They're
Yeah.
not sitting like, robots and doing typing all the time. No, it's not that way. They need to be
Yeah.
productive. Since we do all the creative work, branding is not simple and it's not easy. There are 50 concepts before one concept is finalized. And how does that happen? You experiment, you talk, you bring in ideas, you bring ideas together, see the contrast. And then you put them together to bring the best forward for your client. And how
Yeah.
will you do that if your team is not coordinating well, if they're not motivated, if they're not having fun, if they're stressed, if there is not enough communication, if there is non-productive conversation all the time? So this is a
Yeah.
matter of habit building. You
Yeah.
create a culture, you build habits, and you
Yeah.
inject those habits constantly into your system. And that makes your team the best team.
What makes them open up? Because there's a lot of resistance. People don't talk within organizations, right? People don't talk to their team members. They don't share. They
The
feel.
trust, Samir, the trust, the friendship.
So how
The,
do
the
you?
feeling that we are all safe, we are not being constantly judged,
Yeah.
that
How
we
do you
will be
create?
helped.
How will you create that?
I run very interesting training sessions.
Okay.
We sit together around a table with tea and we talk. Okay, I did this and this worked very well, so this is creative. When it comes to scripts and writing, we share scripts and then we analyze them. I will take everybody's opinion, give mine, and then we will understand, okay, for the next one, we will work in this way because this is more, this resonates more with this kind of industry and that resonates more with that kind of industry. Because in our system, it's multiple. We work with artists, we work with actors, we work with influencers, we work with painters, we work with real estate, with education, with tourism, you name it. So we have to wear all these different garbs when we are presenting to all these different industries and different brands. And we make sure that the ideas we bring forth are creative. So how does that happen? Until and unless we are sitting together, sharing, expressing, and generating more ideas through them. That you open up when you feel safe. You open up more when you feel, okay, I'm appreciated and liked. You
Yeah.
open up even more when you feel, okay, my idea is working so well. So we take from everybody, have it on the table, and then pick and choose, put pieces together, and create a lovely story. And
Nice.
that thing with which we are working, like, as a team when we are together, as a team when we are incubating on an idea, this is how I call it. At that moment, the energy is great.
Yeah.
And that's when we eat lots of pizzas. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's fun. We are into something that we love. We all love doing it.
True. And what I'm hearing also, what you said, something very beautiful, was we put all the ideas on the table and then analyze the ideas. So people will start realizing you're not analyzing the person, but the idea.
Yeah, it's always the idea.
Yeah. Sometimes people think it is they being attacked or their personality being judged. But when they realize that it is the idea that is being judged or being evaluated, it becomes a completely different
In which
scenario.
language will you
And when you
understand? Always
consistently do
working in should not
it,
work.
yeah,
In which language will you understand? I'm asking
It's
you
true.
politely,
So
you not
true. Like
understand.
I said, that we all need to create that feeling
Exactly.
that it's safe to share,
yeah,
it's safe to express, that you are not being judged as a person, right? So if you
yeah,
share more, we all grow together.
absolutely. Yeah.
So tell me about the training system that you have that
Uh,
makes people scale up.
that makes people skill up. So
Scale up.
scale up.
Mm.
So this is like a 6 months program that I have where actually they go through a whole process when it comes to coaching. We're coaching, but this is also I'm currently putting my own systems in place. So maybe it is a little bit early in the stage of uh, the journey of me helping coaches. I want to touch upon teams before I move on to scaling up. What
Okay.
what I what I do is very similar to what you do, and I use the same format of awesome workers where I sit on those bean bags, and what I do is I create a very informal environment. And I do this for organizations, not my teams. I don't have a team, but I go into organizations, and what I do is, and I think you'll find this interesting because it's very similar to what you're doing. It's probably the same. I'm just saying it probably differently, where I ask questions in such a manner that they start sharing their personal stories. And when they start sharing their personal stories, there will be people who are reluctant to share their personal stories at the beginning. But when one person starts to share, when what happens is when that person is sharing his personal story, he is saying without saying that I trust all of you in this room to keep this. And how people reciprocate to that is they share their story.
Yeah,
So it becomes
that
like a
comes as
permanent,
a response.
yeah, it comes as a response. This is how trust is built basically. You build trust through vulnerability, by being open, by exposing yourself. The moment
Yeah.
you start exposing yourself and being ready to be judged, and at the same time saying the response is coming, you're not judged,
Mm.
you're creating trust in that scene. And in that scene, then what happens when you constantly exercise it? It gets stronger and stronger like a muscle.
Yeah, it gets the snowball effect.
But what happens in a lot of organizations is when people join, they go to their bosses or managers and they start trying to be vulnerable at the beginning. And if the boss is someone who ridicules or judges them, they're gone. They
Mm.
stop being vulnerable. And that kills the trust that people can create in organizations. So, as a culture, if people want to create a trusting organization and teams within organizations and the ecosystem, what people say is people don't quit jobs, right? People quit their managers, people quit their bosses, people quit who they're working for. And if they're not staying over there, it's solely because of the person who they're reporting to, who does not give them that safe space.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. So, with respect to skilling up, my methodology is the first thing that I do is I get, yeah, you're getting a lot of disturbance from him.
Seriously. But that's part of working from home, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So part of how I work with my clients in scaling up is the number one thing that I get them to do is I get them to go and do the Clifton strength test. I get them to do the strength test, which becomes a scientific proof of what their strengths are. Once they get that report, which is like a 22, 23-page report that they get online, which is generated, then I coach them around it. And once I coach them around it, once I understand where they are, where they come from, what is it that they truly want to do in life, and then I get to know their backstories. And then I, together with them, co-create the life of their dreams. And the moment they co-create that in that space, because of the conversation, because of the questions that we ask each other, and we have that, they feel inspired. They know exactly what they have to do. They know exactly what has to be the next step, and then the next step. And they see the roadmap. And the moment you see the roadmap, and the moment you see with clarity what it is that you truly want to be doing, that brings you excitement, joy, and fulfillment in life, then what happens is skilling up becomes something that you do naturally. You go and pick up the right kind of courses, you go and pick up the right kind of things to do, you go and pick up the right kind of conversation with people, you surround yourself with the right kind of friends, you do everything that is required for you to grow naturally, positively. And it's just a mindset. And how I work with my clients is over here. Because once things change up over here, things change outside. What they say is everything in our life happens twice.
Twice.
Twice. First, it happens in the mind,
Yeah.
and then it happens in reality.
Yes, true. True.
First, we
I
have to
agree
think
about the mindset part because it's very important for all of us, not just
Yeah.
one or two people. Very important for all of us to have the right kind of mindset. And the right
Yeah.
kind of mindset is the positive one.
Yeah.
Isn't it, Samir?
I was listening to Simon Sinek yesterday. He was talking about, he had a different take on positive and optimistic. Have you heard that one? He posted that yesterday, I think, or a couple of days. He was talking about being optimistic and being positive. So positivity is where you go out and say, everything is okay, everything is fine, there's no problem, and everything is going to be fine. He's saying, no, we don't need that kind of positivity because things are bad. Things are really going bad in the world.
They're unpredictable at the moment.
They're unpredictable at the moment, right? But being optimistic is believing that, yes, we are going through a bad time right now, but things will get better. So when you have an optimistic mindset, according to him, versus a positive mindset, what he's saying is we will come through this out much brighter and much better. So I'm not sure if I have to agree with him or not, but the fact of the matter is, yes, there are things that are out of our control, which we can do nothing about. But if we can come and accept that this too shall pass, and we will come out stronger, and we will be much better prepared when the time comes, things will be great.
Yes, true. Agree with you. Thank you so much for being with me, Samir. I really enjoyed talking to you today. Let's do it once again during the next week.
Yes, thank you so much. And it's been a real pleasure knowing you a bit more deeper, a bit more better, and sharing whatever I have. And thank you for sharing what you have as well.
Thank you so much.
Continue to be the gift that you are to everyone around you. Continue to be the light that you are to everyone around you.
Thank you.
You have a spark. Keep that spark alive, I would say.
I will do my best, as long as my friends are with me. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Have a great